This video is about making a character with the new Player's Handbook. The 2024 D&D Player's Handbook is here, and nobody I've seen on the internet yet has made a character. I've seen a lot of videos where they talk about making characters, but I haven't seen one do it yet. So I'm doing it, and this is the first of several videos because, again, it takes forever, just like it took with the 2014 version as well. So anyway, if you go to character creation here, chapter 2 in this new book, creating a character, what you will see is it has 5 easy steps listed here. Not as easy as you think. All right, so first step, though, is choose a class, and that's what this video is about. And I'll string them all together at the end and show you and tell you how long it took. So this took me about 20 minutes. And here's the actual sample of the new character sheet. And there's a number that corresponds to each one of these steps. Now, originally, I wrote those onto these 2 sheets here, and in different colors. So the dark blue you see, 1, 1, 1. Well, it turned out that there's actually more than that. So this is what your character sheet should look like, or what mine looks like, I should say, after step 1. So step 1 is choose a class. So I chose Rogue. So I am level 1. And from there, basically, the other thing that this sheet says is armor training is the only other thing you can put in. Rogues have light armor training. How do I know that? Well, you go to the chapter with all of the different classes in them. You look up Rogue, which is, these are all listed alphabetically according to class. Rogue is before Sorcerer. And the nice thing about this book is that it does have this nice little table right here where it says the core rogue traits. All right, so the basic core rogue traits are, one of them is armor training, light armor, right? So I checked the box with light armor. And then what I did was I basically copied all of this stuff except for the hit point die. I went here, let's say dexterity and intelligence saving throws. So you go over here to where your ability scores are going to be, and I checked the box that said saving throw for dexterity and saving throw for intelligence. We have proficiency in that, right? Skill proficiencies. I picked 4. So persuasion, deception, perception, and stealth is what I picked. And we have proficiencies in simple weapons and martial weapons. And I wrote that down here where it says equipment, training, proficiencies, right? Simple, martial with finesse or light property, okay? And then tool proficiencies, thieves' tools, armor training, we check the box for light, right? And then starting equipment, now you can just start with 100 gold pieces, or you can write down all these things, and I wrote them down here. So I wrote down leather armor, which I wrote down under equipment. I wrote down my weapons here, so that I can figure out their bonuses and all that stuff later. I wrote down the arrows there. I wrote down that I have a burglar's pack, and then under here I wrote down thieves' tools, because it says right here, tools. And these are our proficiencies, but I actually am just gonna say, okay, I already have thieves' tools. Now, before you go ahead and try to figure this out yourself, I already did it for you. Yes, if you add up all of these items here, 2 daggers, leather armor, short sword, short bow, 20 arrows, quiver, even the quiver is 1 gold piece, thieves' tools, and burglar's pack, and 8 gold pieces, it does actually add up to 100 gold pieces. So let's say that you want to be a rogue who has a rapier, just like in the 2014 D&D starting equipment. You can do that, but you maybe go with the 100 gold pieces, buy which one of these things you want, and then get that rapier for 25 gold pieces. Or I think actually if the short sword is, it's not. Okay, so basically, that's what you can do. So anyway, this is where I am. I hope this helped you. If it did help you, smash like, please, because that helps me. And subscribing to the channel would be great. We're at 13,969 subscribers. So that's huge. and we're almost at 14,000. So thank you all for that. I have many videos about how to teach kids how to play D&D, new players how to take D&D. That's what I do. I teach. And I'm learning this new system along with everybody else. So watch the next video and I'll show you step 2 on how to fill out your character sheet and create a rogue. All right. Have a great day. Take care. Hello there, my friends. Okay, so how do you create a D&D character with this 2024 Player's Handbook? Aha. All right, well, we got this far. We did step 1, and step 1 was picking a class. We are rogue, and you can see this is how much of our character sheet we got in on step 1. So we wrote down our weapons, we wrote down our expertise, our tools, and then over here, basically some equipment that we got from being a rogue, the standard equipment. So now we'll go to step 2, all right? But here's the thing with step 2. It's actually a 2-parter, so it's 2 steps. So this video may be divided into each of those steps. So determine the character's origin, right? So there's 2 elements. There's background and species, and we will be dealing with background because background is interesting. It's going to give us more stuff, and it's going to give like more like actual stuff like gold pieces, and it's actually going to give us or actually like a forgery kit here or a costume or fine clothes, but it's also going to give us proficiencies, right? And it's going to affect our ability scores as well, right? So let's check this out here at the beginning where it says ability scores, right? Parts of background, ability scores. A background lists 3 of your character's ability scores. Increase one by 2 and another one by 1. Or all 3 by 1. But you can't get any of them to 20, all right? So basically what we're going to do here is we're going to like put a little check mark next to the ones we want. So here's the thing, all right? If these are interesting, and I will go back and do another video on backgrounds and the color, as it were, the flavor. Flavor is free, right? So what, at least in my games, the way I run my games. So, but here, what I want to talk about is building a character. So we're going to talk about this mechanically, right? So mechanically, what we're looking at here are these ability scores, right? So this part over here, this little paragraph that says, once you were old enough to order an ale, you were in a tavern, blah, 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 blah. That, you can make that up, okay? So you can say like, oh, I'm a charlatan, but I'm actually a performer, right? Or you can say like, well, I have a criminal background, but actually, you know, I'm a diplomat, you know? And it's like, you know, you can say, well, I absconded with the funds, you know, or whatever, but you want these 3 like ability scores, right? So what you want to do is you want to add either 2 into one and 1 into the other, or 1 in all 3 of these. So basically I am going to be a rogue. Now rogues already have like proficiency in 2 areas of saving throws, right? So basically we have proficiency in dexterity saving throws and intelligence saving throws. So you would think, okay, that's what I want, right? So I want to have a background that gives me dexterity and intelligence. And there are several of those, right? There's artisan, strength, dexterity, intelligence. There's criminal, which is dexterity, constitution, intelligence. But that's if I want to play an arcane trickster, like if I know that my subclass is going to be like a spellcaster. But I don't want to do that. I want to be the kind of rogue who is deceptive, intimidating, has performance, can perform, and also can persuade people, right? So I want charisma to be one of mine. So I want dexterity because I want to be able to do stealth and sleight of hand and acrobatics, but I also want charisma, right? So I think what I'm going to do is take I want these proficiencies, right? So I want either, I've already got deception here with charlatan and sleight of hand. I could go this way. I think charlatan is what I want to do because I'm getting my dexterity and my charisma, and I can put 2 or 1 in either one of those. Or I could even throw another one at Constitution, which is always good because you want to have like hit points, right? And that's where Constitution comes in. It gives you more hit points each level. And I want Deception and Sleight of Hand, or do I want Sleight of Hand and Stealth? See, I already have picked Deception and Stealth. So I pretty much want Sleight of Hand, and if I pick Deception, I can go back to my rogue character and pick one of a different proficiency, right? So I could actually go back to rogue and say, all right, I'm going to use, let's see here, a Wanderer. Where's my rogue? That's a monks. Go back to rogue. There's ranger. And see how it gives you like pick 4 of these? So I could pick investigation or intimidation or athletics or insight, right? So I could go back because I'm going to get my stealth from, I'm going to get my deception from charlatan, right? So I don't have to pick deception here. So I could pick one of these other ones that I don't have yet. So I could pick intimidation or investigation, right? So that's what I'm going to do. I am going to, let's see, we're going to fill out the sheet. So I am going to pick the charlatan background. So right here where it says background, right? Right. Charlatan. And then I'm going to pick, it says here, ability scores. So I can add to charisma. So I'm going to put a little check mark there. And I can add to dexterity. Now, I'm not going to add those in just yet. I could add to Constitution as well. But I'm not going to add there just yet because we still get to pick our species. And our species may inform us as to which one of these we can increase as well, right? So it's kind of like a half step. And I guess that's why this background is like a 2-step process. So let's pick these. Let's put these. Okay, my feat is skilled. It says see chapter 5, but I think feats go here. So I'm going to write skilled. And I am going to go here, deception and sleight of hand. So we already have deception. So I'm going to go sleight of hand is here. And I got to pick, because I already used deception from my rogue traits, I can't get double proficiency. You can't do that, at least not the way the rules are written that I know of. If I'm wrong about that, somebody tell me. Maybe I'll do that in a homebrew where you can get double proficiency. But here, I've already got these, right? I've got persuasion. I've got perception. What I don't have is investigation, intimidation, insight, and acrobatics. So which of those do I want? Well, I've already got dexterity proficiency, so I'm going to be good at acrobatics. I'm going to be good at intimidation, but I'm not necessarily going to be good at insight, and I'm not necessarily going to be good at investigation, right? So I'm thinking one of those two. So I'm thinking I like the idea of insight because then I can gauge the way somebody is going to act. So I'm going to pick insight there. All right. So basically, we go back to the charlatan background, and now here it says tool proficiencies. Now I'm proficient in a forgery kit, and that's a good thing for a rogue, don't you think? So I'm going to put down here tools under equipment, training, and proficiency. I'm going to put forgery kit. And right here under equipment, I can choose the forgery kit and a costume and fine clothes and 15 gold pieces, or I can just take 50 gold pieces. but I'm going to take these. So I'm going to go here where it says equipment, and I'm going to write each one of these down. I'm going to write forgery kit, and costume, and fine clothes, and 15 gold pieces. So now we have 23 free gold pieces here, in addition to all the other things that we got. All right, so that's where we are so far. So basically, we are this far on our character sheet. So we have our background, our class. We have some weapons to start with. We have a feat that we haven't really checked out yet. So we're going to have to do that. And say go to chapter 5 for that. So, feats. We are skilled. Skilled is an origin feat. And it says here, you gain proficiency in any combination of 3 skills or tools of your choice. And you can take this feat more than once. So that's pretty cool. So all these proficiencies we have here, we can add 3 more if we want. Or we can become proficient in tools. So this is going to be really powerful. So we have to come back to this. We have to remember to come back to this. So I don't have a pencil right here, but I'm going to, when I get off camera, I'm going to write on a pencil, come back to this, and pick 3 skills, right? So that's cool. And then we already picked like some proficiencies here. And we got some more gold and we got some more stuff. All right, so that's the end of this video. So that was part 2A, and we'll get into part 2B in the next video. So I hope you guys stick with me. I know this is a process. I thought this was going to be easier, but the character creation process for 5.5 or 2024, whatever you want to call this version of D&D, is not any more, not that much easier than the 2014 version. But anyway, you tell me what you think in the comments below. Stick with me. I'll see you on the next one. I got to get another video done because I don't see anybody out here on the internet doing this. And we need to do this. So I'll talk to you guys on the next one. And you can steal my rogue when I'm done too. So you can skip to the last video and you just take my rogue if you want. But this is the process. All right. Have a great day. Thanks. Hello there, fellow travelers, and I am creating a character with the new D&D Player's Handbook, and this is as far as we've gotten, right? So we still have some more to do. We are on step 2, but we're actually on step 2.2 or 2.5 or 2/B, and it's under determined origin, and we determined our background, but we did not determine our species. So now we're going to do that. So under character origins, it says parts of a species, creature type, size, speed, special traits. So we're going to go ahead and look at some of these. Now I will do a video about each one of these species later. Right now we're looking at building a character and trying to do it as quickly as possible. So I have a character that this sheet is going to replace, right? I have a 5e character from the 2014, actually from Tasha's Cauldron of Everything character, and he was a half-elf. Well, there are no half-elves in 2024, apparently. So I'm going to be an elf. And so, being an elf, I'm going to transcribe what is here onto my character sheet. So I'm going to use the red marker that I was using to here. It looks a little orange, actually. But you can see I was a charlatan. Now I'm picking my species, right? So we're going to say elf, right? So this is a rogue elf charlatan. Okay. And under elf, it says you are a humanoid creature type, right? So that's fine. So these are species traits. So my traits are, I am a humanoid. I'm not going to write that down because I'm going to remember that. I'm medium, which means I'm between 5 and 6 feet tall. I'm not going to write that down because I already know that. My speed is 30 feet. So right here, I can put 30 because that's my speed. And here are some of my really cool special traits, right? I have dark vision with a range of 60 feet. So under species traits, I can say dark vision, 60 feet, right? Elven lineage, and that means that I have supernatural abilities. I choose a lineage from the elf table. I gain a level 1 benefit from that lineage. So I'm going to go with high elf. So my benefit is that I know the prestidigitation cantrip, and whenever I finish a long rest, I can replace that cantrip with a different cantrip from the wizard spell list. That is bomb, baby, because this character is not going to be a spellcaster, but I get a cantrip just because I'm an elf. So that's pretty cool. So I can go here to cantrips, and I can say right here, level 1, this is a cantrip, I have the prestidigitation, so I'm going to go prestidigitation. And that's cantrip. And I could swap that out, right? And so I'm going to say, or wizard cantrip after a long rest, okay? Since I'm not going to have a lot of spells, I'm going to be able to like write in that column. That's not a problem. And also, it says here, when you reach higher levels, you get more. Well, I'm not there yet, so it's fine. It says here, intelligence, wisdom, or charisma is your spell casting ability for the spells you cast with this trait. So I'm going to choose this to be charisma, because I'm going to be a high charisma character, not a high intelligence character, and definitely not a high wisdom character. Fey ancestry. I have advantage on saving throws to make or avoid or end the charmed condition. Okay, so species traits right here. I will say advantage versus charmed. All right. Then it also says keen senses. I have proficiency in either insight, perception, or survival. Well, here are my proficiencies, right? So I already have perception. I do not have insight or survival. So I'm thinking, well, actually I do have insight. So I have insight here. So I got insight based on my charlatan background. So if I go back to my charlatan background, instead of insight, I could choose something else. I could choose, no, wait, insight, that went back to, so charlatan was deception, sleight of hand. So I actually went all the way back to my rogue class. That's what it was. And I picked insight because it overlapped with my, background, sleight of hand, or it was the other one. And so I'm going to go to my rogue background, and it says I can pick 4 of these. So if I had the insight from being an elf, I can pick whatever's left here, which is investigation or athletics or intimidation. So I'm thinking, Which do I want? Or I could still pick the nature one. But I don't actually care about nature, having that one. So I'm thinking investigation is going to serve me pretty well. That would be the one that I would think mechanically I would use more than athletics. Well, athletics might be good too. This is a good question. Or intimidation. See, I already have deception and persuasion. I'm already going to be pretty intimidating. So I'm thinking investigation. So we're going to go with investigation. Now you see how this is a process? All three of these here, the class, rogue, the background, charlatan, and the race or class, I'm sorry, the species as we're calling it now, elf, are all related. So that's why a lot of people use pencil. I'm using a marker here to show you the different stages as we do them, okay? So let's go back to our elf traits. So we got keen senses, right? So we got one of those proficiencies. And now also one of our traits is trance. We don't need to sleep, and magic cannot put me to sleep. So I can finish a long rest in 4 hours if I spend those in a trance-like meditation in which I retain consciousness. So 4-hour long rest and immune to sleep. Right? Very good. And that's it. And that's my elf traits. So that, my size here is medium. And I could actually put in like 5'6", 5'8", 6 feet, whatever. Let's see, is there anything else here that I need to do? Languages. What are my languages? Now that's interesting. It does not say here what my languages are. Let's go back here to character origins, backgrounds, parts of a species, abilities, scores, feat, equipment. That's all background, part of a species. And it does not say anything about languages. So let's keep going, right, to species descriptions. Okay, I think it might say something about languages under the character creation chapter. Yep. Probably. Let's go back. Creating a character. Languages. All right. So here it says choose a species, right? Choose your languages. So we could roll on this table and pick one at random, or we can pick them, right? So here it says choose your languages. You know 3 languages, common plus 2 languages you roll or choose from the standard language table, right? Rare languages are either secret or derived from other planes of existence and are less widespread. Some features let a character learn a rare language. So it depends on the feature, and we don't necessarily have one right now that lets us do this. So we get to pick common and 2 of these. So under languages, we all know we have common, so I'm not going to write that down. So I am going to pick Elvish because I'm an elf. And Draconic because my other character had that and used it in that campaign. So it's going to be important to keep that consistency. But I could have picked any of these. All right. So that's it, I think, for that part of it. We do have this part that says background and personality. But we can get into that a little bit later, I think. All right, so that's the end of step 2, which is actually step 3, but it's step 2.5 or whatever. But anyway, if you're liking this video, go ahead and put it in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. I'm starting to lose my voice, but I want to get this done, so I'm probably going to do another video after this. watch that to see the next step, and I will see you all on the next video. Thank you for subscribing. We're almost at 14,000 subscribers. I appreciate you out there. Talk to you in the comments. Take care. Hello there, fellow adventurers. We are creating a Dungeons & Dragons character with the new Player's Handbook. This is the 2024 ruling 5.5, whatever you want to call it. And we are on step 3, which is actually video 4, because step 2 had 2 different parts. But anyway, we are determining ability scores. This is the part of character creation that everyone loves because we get to roll dice. Or do we? Well, there's actually 3 different ways. There are more, but there are 3 ways that are described in the book. And the second one is rolling dice. The first one is actually called a standard array, and there used to be one standard array that you could rearrange, and you can still do that. However, this book has made it easier. And it has the standard array, the optimal standard array according to their recommendations based upon class. So that is pretty cool. So we are going to play a rogue. So for us, we would have a 12 strength, a 15 dex, 13 con, 14 wisdom, 14 intelligence, wisdom of 10, and a charisma of 8. That is what they're saying. However, that is not the way I want this character to play. I have taken proficiencies in several of the charisma stats, and I am going to cast the one cantrip I have using charisma because I'm allowed to do that. You saw that in the last video. So charisma is going to be my second trait. I'm going to go basically dexterity, charisma, constitution, wisdom, intelligence, and strength. I think in that order. So I think my dump stat is going to be strength. That means my 8, and then the rest are going to be, in the order that I said, in descending order. So actually, mine is going to look a little bit more like, nope, there is no equivalent here, but that's okay. But that's what I'm going to do. And then remember, based upon our species being an elf, is that what it was? Or was it charlatan? No, based on our background as a charlatan, we can distribute 3 points in dexterity, charisma, or constitution, and we are not allowed to put 3 in one, but we're allowed to put 1 in each, or 2 in one and 1 in the other. So remember that as well when we do our stats. So that's the standard array based on it by class, or you can just take the standard array here and put it in any of your abilities: 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, and 8. Now, the other way to do it, the classic way to do it, well, sort of classic. The classic way to do it was to roll 3d6 and to add them up. The new way to do it is add 4 and then take the lowest one and see how that worked out anyway. And then you add the 3 highest. So you would do that 6 times, taking away the lowest, taking away one of the lowest. And it works out to be pretty close. So like that's, a 12. Am I going to get a 15 here? Not that one. That's a 9. That's a 12. That's not good. That's a 9. See, I would have rolled a low stat character here. That is a 13. We didn't really get any high ones here. So that's a 12. So, so that's what the standard array helps you with, is if you start rolling less below average or really abysmally, then, you don't get penalized. Or you can do a point cost. And point cost is you have 27 points to spend on your ability scores. And they each cost something like this. So there's no cost for getting an 8. But as you go up to a 15, it costs 9 points. So you can only do that 3 times, because 3 times 9 is 27, right? So what you could do here is you could min-max. So what I'm saying is you could put 8 in 3 scores and 15 in 3 scores. And that's min-maxing. And that might be a fun way to go, actually. But I think I need some wisdom. I really don't need intelligence or strength. So I might do the point by. Kind of want wisdom, though. I don't want to be one of those guys that gets just like bowled over by like spells, you know. Although I do have resistance to charm and sleep. I have immunity to sleep. I have advantage to resist charm. So that's interesting. All right, let's see. How are we going to do this? I think I am going to do what's closest to the way I built my character, which was min-max. So let's see. Start with 15, 15, 15. Let's do that. We're going to take the pencil here. We're going to go 15. So put it under score, right? 15, 15. And then here we're going to go 8, 8, and 8. And then we could go 16, 16, 16, or we could go 17, 16, and leave 15 here. And that might be the way to go, but here's the thing, right? So if you look at the ability score modifiers, this is kind of important. You're really only getting the benefit of a modifier with the number is even. You see what I'm saying here? Okay, here's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the difference between 15 and 16 is adding another point on a die roll. So if somebody says, okay, roll a D20, and you roll like I don't have my D20 here, but you roll like a 16, or a 14, but you need a 15 to pass the check. Having a 11, you're not going to pass. But if you have a 12 in that score, you're going to get a +1 modifier. You're going to get the 15, right? See what I'm saying? So having any of these numbers end up being odd at first only just sets you up for when you're going to advance in that level again. You see what I'm saying? So right now, I think making all of these 16 would be like the meta gaming way to do it. Right? So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make each one of these 16, and then I will have a +3 in each of these, right? And then I will have in the 8s, I will have a -1 in each of these. And that's called min-maxing. So I'm min-maxing this character. I'm maximizing the scores that I want, and I'm minimizing the scores that I don't. If that makes sense, let me know in the comments below. If it doesn't make sense, I totally get it. I understand. I will try to explain better in another video, perhaps. All right, so that is step 3. Also, I get to describe my appearance and my personality, okay? So based on this, see, here it says, ability scores are an essential part of the rules, but they can be more than that. Once you've assigned your ability scores, now you can give some thought to what those scores might say about your character's appearance and personality. A very strong character with low charisma might look and behave differently from a charismatic character with low strength, which is what we are. The following tables of descriptive words give suggestions on how you might describe your character based on ability. So for us, we have low strength. We could be weak, self-conscious, indirect. We have high dexterity. We're lithe, dynamic, poised, right? This is an idea. These are really interesting, but they're very basic. So for me, like a high charisma, high constitution, high dexterity character, that to me is like Inigo Montoya, you know? Not terribly smart or wise or strong, but definitely very coordinated, very charismatic, and very, high constitution. Actually, it's more like Wesley from The Princess Bride, right? Because he's more of a, he has the constitution because he was able to like resist the poison. Anyway, I think we've done enough for this video, so we'll go on to step 4 in the next one. And thank you all for subscribing. We're almost up to 14,000 subscribers. I appreciate you out there. I will answer any questions in the comments that I can. I teach D&D to kids, and I try to teach new players, and I hope this is helpful for you. If it is, let me know, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Hello there, dear friends. And I am creating a character for the very first time with the new Player's Handbook. And this is the special art that you can only get at the game stores. But yeah, we're going to make a D&D character with the 2024 new rules. Just came out this week. And yeah, I haven't seen anybody making videos about this. So I decided, well, I'll do it. Maybe it'll help somebody. So we've already gone through steps 1 through 3, even though this is the 5th video. We made 4 videos because part 2 was in 2 parts. So what we did was we picked our class, we picked our background, we picked our species, and then and that was 2 parts. And now on the and we picked our ability scores, right? So we picked them instead of rolling for them. But that's a different video. You can go back and watch that if you don't know how to do that. Hopefully you're here in the right order. And now we're going to pick number 4. And step 4, according to our little list here of how to make a character. See, these pages are brand new, and I don't want to rip them because I just got this book. Even though when I go to teach the kids, like in a couple weeks, they're going to tear this apart. Create your character. Step 4, choose an alignment. Alignment is a shorthand for your character's moral compass. So alignment was not emphasized as much in D&D 5e. Now it's back, 5.5. I personally love alignment. I was fascinated by this when I was a kid in earlier editions. And I love the 9 alignments. Now the 9 alignments are basically like a matrix, okay? So what I mean by that, it's like, imagine a tic-tac-toe board, right? Where like you have on one scale, here, right here, you have on one scale, you have lawful. So this is all lawful. This is all neutral, the center, and this is all chaotic. And then here you have good, neutral, and evil. So if you divide this into 9 parts, like a tic-tac-toe board, you have lawful good, neutral good, chaotic good, lawful neutral, true neutral, chaotic neutral, lawful evil, neutral evil, and chaotic evil. And then we have descriptors for each one of those. So I'm going to go through these because I like it. I really like it. And I actually am going to do a video. I did a video of the 2E descriptions because I saw a guy unboxing a 2E starter set and I love that. So I have a bunch of those on the channel. They're really popular. So I'm going to do this one here and I'll probably use this to subdivide it. So here are the new September 2024 alignments in Dungeons and Dragons 5.5. All right. The 9 alignments. A creature's alignment broadly describes its ethical attitudes and ideals. Broadly, okay? Alignment is a combination of 2 factors. One identifies morality, good, evil, or neutral, and the other describes attitudes towards order, lawful, chaotic, or neutral. The summaries of these alignments below describe the typical behavior of a creature within that alignment. Individuals can vary from that behavior. Okay, so if you pick one of these, it doesn't mean that you are committed to the path forever but it does inform you, and it's maybe mostly what you would do most of the time. Mostly dead. Okay, so if you know what that's from, put it in the comments. Very first alignment. Lawful good. Lawful good creatures endeavor to do the right thing as expected by society. Someone who fights injustice and protects the innocent without hesitation is probably lawful good. Who do you think of when you think of lawful good? A saint? A paladin, perhaps? All right, neutral good. Neutral good creatures do the best they can, working within the rules, but not feeling bound by them. A kindly person who helps others according to their needs is probably neutral good. Now, I want you to think about this and put it in the comments and tell me what you think. A character from fiction or a person in real life who would be neutral good. Chaotic good. Chaotic good creatures act as their conscience directs, with little regard for what others expect. A rebel who waylays a cruel baron's tax collectors and uses the stolen money to help the poor is probably chaotic good. Now, who does that describe? Robin Hood, perhaps? Lawful neutral. Lawful neutral individuals act in accordance with the law, tradition, or personal codes. Someone who follows a disciplined rule of life and isn't swayed either by the demands of those in need or by the temptations of evil is probably lawful neutral. Interesting. How about neutral? Just true neutral. Neutral is the alignment of those who prefer to avoid moral questions and don't take sides, doing what seems best at the time. Someone who's bored by moral debate is probably neutral. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think that we just found our alignment. So on our character sheet, we will go here to alignment, and we will put neutral, because I'm pretty sure this character is neutral. All right. Let's talk about chaotic neutral. Chaotic neutral creatures follow their whims, valuing their personal freedom above all else. A scoundrel who wanders the land living by their wits is probably chaotic neutral. Well, I gotta tell you, I think I just modified our alignment. Chaotic neutral. That describes this character better, I think. All right, now the evil characters. Now, when I do Dungeons and Dragons Adventure League and when I teach the kids, there are no evil characters. No evil player characters. But non-player characters can be evil. And monsters can be, of course. Lawful evil. Lawful evil creatures methodically take what they want within the limits of a code of tradition, loyalty, or order. An aristocrat exploiting citizens while scheming for power is probably neutral evil. No, probably lawful evil. Now, who would be lawful evil? To me, lawful evil is like Darth Vader, right? Maybe one of the Imperial officers, actually, in Star Wars. There's a code that he has to work within the rules of the Empire, but ultimately what the Empire seeks to do is not necessarily good, right, for the public at large. All right, neutral evil. Neutral evil is the alignment of those who are untroubled by the harm they cause as they pursue their desires. A criminal who robs and murders as they please is probably neutral evil. A sociopath, right? Somebody who just doesn't care about the consequences of their actions. Chaotic evil. Chaotic evil creatures act with arbitrary violence, spurred by their hatred or bloodlust. A villain pursuing schemes of vengeance and havoc is probably chaotic evil. Who would you think this fits that description in either fiction or real life? I would love to hear your comments on these. And I will do videos on each one of these alignments as this progresses. But right now we're doing a character creation video. So we're chaotic neutral. We are a charlatan elf rogue, and we are chaotic neutral. We live according to our whims. So that is this character. And now we will finish the series with the last video. I hope you stay tuned. Thank you for subscribing. We're trying to get to 14,000. We're at 13,967, I think, as the last time I looked. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys on the next one. Have a great day out there, and I'll see you in the comments. Hello there, dear travelers. We are at the end of the journey. We are finishing up this character sheet, the very first character that I have ever made with this new player's handbook. And the first one I've seen made from start to finish anywhere, on the internet, anywhere. So I hope this helps you. I teach D&D to children and new players, and I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to teach this, because this is a process. This was not as easy as I thought. I thought they were going to simplify it from the original 2014 version of character creation, but it's lengthy, and I'm not complaining. It's interesting, but it's definitely, this was a trip. All right, so now we're on step 5. Step 5 in our process of creating characters, fill in the details. Now fill in your character sheet. So first we're going to record our class features. So we look at our class feature table in chapter 3 and write down the level 1 features. The class features are detailed in the same chapter. Some class features offer choices. Make sure you read all features and make any offer choices. All right, so here's our classes. We are a rogue, so we're going to be in alphabetical order back here. Past paladin, past ranger, and to rogue. And our class features are here. So we are going to write these down. So what are our class features? Well, it says, as a rogue, you gain level 1. At level 1, I'm going to put a 1 there. Expertise. What is expertise? Expertise in 2 of your skill proficiencies of your choice. Sleight of hand and stealth are recommended if you have proficiency in them. At rogue level 6, you gain expertise. Okay, so we gain expertise in 2. They recommend sleight of hand and stealth. I'm going to go with expertise. Let's see. Expertise in, I'm going to say stealth. And they say sleight of hand. But I think I'm going to say persuasion. Because I have all of these skill proficiencies. And I think I want to be persuasive. And persuasion. Now, what does expertise do for me? What is expertise? It's described in the same chapter. Expertise. In 2 of your skill proficiencies. Well, I will have to get back to that. All right. So we get sneak attack. Sneak attack. You know how to strike subtly and exploit a foe's distraction. Once per turn, you can deal an extra 1d6 damage to a creature you hit with an attack roll. If you have advantage on the roll and the attack uses a finesse or ranged weapon. The extra damage type is the same as the weapon's damage type. Cool. So if I have a rapier and that's a finesse weapon, extra d6 damage if I hit. If I have advantage on the roll. You don't need advantage on the attack roll if at least one of your allies within 5 feet of the target. The ally doesn't have the incapacitated condition. If you don't have disadvantage on the attack roll. The extra damage increases as you gain rogue levels. All right. At the rogue features table. Got it. Okay. Next, Thieves' Cant. So we basically have another language. Thieves' Cant. You pick up various languages in the community where you applied your roguish talents. You know Thieves' Cant and one other language of your choice, which you choose from the language tables in Chapter 2. So now we get to go and pick, and it says language tables in Chapter 2. So now we get to pick one of these languages. We could pick one of these like rare languages if we wanted to. But when are we ever going to come up against something like that? I don't think I'm going to get anything like that. So I think what I'm going to do is pick one of the common ones, something that I will come up against. Like, oh, I don't know. Giant. I think giant. I don't know why. But I get to pick another language. So where are my languages? Here, Elvish, Draconic, and Giant. Very good. Okay. I get Weapon Mastery. Weapon Mastery. Your training with weapons allows you to use the mastery properties of 2 kinds of weapons of your choice with which you have proficiency, such as daggers and short bows. Whenever you finish a long rest, you can change the kind of weapons you choose. For example, you could switch to using the mastery properties of swords, scimitars, and short swords. All right, so we need to find out what expertise and mastery are. All right, that's it for that. So now we fill in numbers. Okay, so it says here, saving throws. For saving throws, you have proficiency in, add your proficiency bonus to the appropriate ability modifier, and note the total. Okay, so my proficiency bonus, right, at level 1 as a rogue, proficiency bonus, +2 at level 1. Right? So, go back here where it says proficiency bonus. Right here. We put +2. Right? So now we go here. It says saving throws. For the saving throws, you have proficiency in. Add your proficiency bonus to the appropriate ability modifier and note the total. Some players also like to note the modifier for saving throws they're not proficient in, which is just the relevant ability modifier. Okay, so saving throws. So here's saving throws. So let's say I am not proficient in strength. So my saving throw is -1. I am proficient in saving throws for dexterity, so I'm a +5. +5. Constitution, I am a 3, +3. I do have proficiency in saving throws for intelligence, so I add 2 to -1, so I am a +1. +1. Wisdom, I am a -1 because I am not proficient. And charisma, I do not have proficiency in saving throws, so I am a +3. Very good. Now skills. This is interesting. For skills that you have proficiency in, add your proficiency bonus to the ability modifier associated with that skill and note the total. You might also wish to note the modifier for skills you're not proficient in, which is just the relevant ability modifier. So I have to go back here. It says I have the skilled feat, so I can pick 3 skills, or proficiency in tools. So I'm going to pick skills. So right now I am not proficient in athletics, acrobatics, arcana, history, nature, religion, animal handling, medicine, survival, intimidation, or performance. So I get to pick 3. Well, I kind of like animal handling for some reason. But honestly, if I'm going to play meta, I want to maximize my ability to do well at things I'm really good at. I would probably not pick animal handling because that's a wisdom thing. But I would go to my strengths, which is charisma and dexterity. And since I only have 3 things in there that I'm not proficient in, I would just pick those. So I would pick acrobatics, I will pick intimidation, and I will pick performance. To min-max the character, right? This is like an optimized build, kind of, because I also want to give this build to whomever. At the end of this, you can like give this. You can take this character and just pause the screen, write down everything that I've written here, and use it for yourself. And then you have your rogue, and then I'll go do and through each class, and I'll do another one, at least a level 1 character, because I need this for teaching my students as well. So now we add those up, right? So we go through each one of these. So let's say for athletics, right? So athletics checks, I'm going to be a -1. For dexterity, I have proficiency. So I'm going to add my proficiency bonus, which is +2 for all of these, plus my dexterity bonus, which is +3. Straight dexterity, right? So -1 here, -1 here, -1, +3, +3. But I'm proficient in these, so I add another 2, so it's actually +5. So I'm +5 in acrobatics, +5 in sleight of hand, +5 in stealth. Also down here, I am +5 deception, intimidation, performance, and persuasion. And now here, in all these, I'm -1, except for investigation, I'm +1. Here I'm -1, -1, +1, -1, -1. And the same here, animal handling, -1, insight, +1, medicine, -1, perception, +1, survival, -1. All right, now we go to passive perception. Now, this is interesting. In the original 2014 D&D Player's Handbook, it doesn't say anything in character creation about passive perception. You had to look it up in the index and go find it. So at least here it is included in the character creation chapter, so that's pretty cool. So passive perception is basically, okay, here it says sometimes your DM will determine something based on whether your character notices something without asking you to make the perceptions throw. Probably to surprise you, right? A general awareness of your surroundings. So it's 10 plus your wisdom perception check modifier. So my perception is +1, my modifier. So my passive perception is 10 + 1. If it were -1, it would be a 9, right? Get it? All right, hit points. Your class and constitution modifier determine your hit point maximum at level 1. So I'm a rogue, so my hit point maximum is 8 plus my constitution modifier. So it's 8 plus 3. So my hit points maximum are 11 at level 1, right? If I were a barbarian, what would it be? 12 plus 3, 15. So that's as high as you can get at level 1. 15 hit points, according to this. All right. Now, hit point dice. Your character's class description tells you the type of die your character's hit point dice, or hit dice for short. Write this on your character sheet. At level 1, your character has 1 hit die. You can spend the hit dice during a short rest to recover hit points. Your character sheet also includes space to note how many hit die you've spent. All right, so I just happen to know it. It is a D8, but let's just pick, like, say, cleric. D8, right? Bard, D8. Barbarian, D12, right? But we're a rogue, and it's a D8, but I will show it to you. See, here's a D6 for a sorcerer. So spellcasters have low hit points. But for a rogue, it's D8. So we're going to write that down. So hit dice here at the top. Maximum 1 D8. Okay. Initiative. Write your dexterity modifier in the space for initiative. That's easy. So initiative's right here. My dexterity modifier is this one, plus 3. So it's plus 3. Okay, my armor class. Without armor or shield, your base armor class is 10 plus your dexterity modifier. So for me, it'd be 13. If your starting equipment includes armor or a shield or both, calculate your AC using the rules in Chapter 6. A class feature might give you a different way to calculate your AC. So Chapter 6 is equipment. And we're going to go to AC. We're going to go to armor. Right? So here's your armor class. So I have leather armor. So mine is 11 plus my dex. So it's going to be 14. If I had chainmail, it would just be 16, no matter what. If I had studded leather armor, it would be 12 plus my dex, right? So I'm going to go with well, I have leather armor, so basically I'm going to go with 11 plus 3. So my armor class is here, and that is 11 plus 3 is 14. Now, actually, my other character has studded leather armor, but I can deal with that later. We're just making a generic character for right now, right? Okay, so attacks. In the weapons plus damage cantrips section of the character sheet, write your starting weapons. I already did that because I wanted to skip that step later when I did that in step 1 when I got my rogue equipment, right? It says here, the attack roll bonus for a weapon with which you have proficiency is one of the following unless a weapon property says otherwise. So if it's a melee attack, I get my strength modifier plus proficiency bonus. If it's ranged, dexterity plus proficiency bonus. However, the weapon's property. So if we go to equipment, Chapter 6, right? We go to the weapons. I have some roguish weapons, which I believe will allow me to use my dexterity modifier. So I have finesse weapons, like the short sword is finesse and light, and I have proficiency in that, right? And let's see. Because I have proficiency in that, let's see, martial ranged weapons. Short bow. Simple weapons. Short bow. 1d6 piercing. I've got short sword. Finesse light weapon. That means I have proficiency. That does not mean that I can use my dexterity modifier. I don't think so. Let's see here. Wait, here's the, okay, Vex. Vex. If you hit a creature with this weapon and deal damage to the creature, you have advantage on your next attack roll against that creature before the end of your next turn. Short sword, finesse, light. Finesse. Light. Finesse. When making an attack with a finesse weapon, use your choice of strength or dexterity modifier for the attack and damage roll. Yes. Yes. Also, light. When you take the attack action in your turn and attack with a light weapon, you can make one extra attack as a bonus action later on the same turn. That extra attack must be made with a different light weapon, and you don't add your ability modifier to that attack. Very well. So, I have a short sword, which is finesse and light. And if I have a dagger, that is finesse and light as well. So I can nick and I can vex. A rapier is not light. So that's one of the reasons you can't two-hand him. That's interesting. We're going to talk about that later. So basically, if I'm using dexterity, my attack roll, right? So it says here, dexterity modifier plus proficiency bonus. My dex modifier is 3, my proficiency bonus is 5. So I have a +5 to hit with daggers, short sword, short bow. Damage type, well, I think they're all piercing. Piercing, and short bow's piercing. So I'm a piercer, basically. Oh, and then the damage dice. So like a dagger is 1d4, short bow is 1d6, and a short sword is 1d6. So it's 1d4, 1d6, 1d6. P for piercing. Very good. Spellcasting. Note, both the saving throw DC for your spells and the attack bonus for your attacks make with them uses these formulas. Okay, so spell save DC is over here with the spell list, spellcasting. So spellcasting ability for rogues, it's intelligence, except for this elf one, I can pick charisma. So I think up here I write intelligence, right? Spellcasting ability modifier. So let's see here. So I go to rogue, and it says here spellcasting ability modifier. let's see. Class features. Spellcasting ability. Intelligence is your spellcasting ability for your wizard spells. So I'm pretty sure that's it. And that's not good because my intelligence is not good. So my spell save DC is 8 plus my spell casting ability modifier plus my proficiency bonus. So 8 plus -1 is 7 plus my proficiency bonus, which is 2, right? So I'm at 8, 7, 2, 9. So that's my spell save DC. And my spell attack bonus is my spell casting ability modifier plus my proficiency bonus. And that is also a 9. Spell casting ability, blah, blah, blah. Spell slots, cantrips. If your class gives you the spell casting or pack magic feature, your class feature table, blah, blah, blah. All right, name your character, right? So I already have a name for this character, and it's a weird one because it was a random one from like a program that I used, and it is Squax. So if you want to be Squax the Charlatan Elf Rogue, be my guest. You can take that, and that's totally fine with me. Ask some more questions about your character. What's your gender? What people you care about the most? What's your deepest fear? What will you seek? Knowledge, wealth, glory, enlightenment, justice, mercy, power, or something else. And that's it. So now we have a character. And on the next video, I will tell you how to gain levels because I'm actually going to be a level 3, but this is a level 1 character. So let me just show you the character. I'll do a separate video where it's just this character so you guys can all copy this down. And I will let you have a moment with this so that you can check it out and see for yourself what a complete D&D character sheet looks like. And it only took us an hour and a half or something like that. So if you think this is easy, put it in the comments below. If you think this was just as difficult as the previous version, put that in the comments below. I would love to talk to you about this. I hope you have a great day. Thank you for subscribing, all 14,000 of you, almost. I appreciate your comments. I appreciate your time. I teach people how to play D&D, from beginners, children. It's a lot of fun. I actually get paid to teach children. It's really interesting. Hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you on the next one. Take care.